Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to see so many familiar faces. Normally, we do this as a webinar, but we chose to do this as a meeting because we just miss people. And it's just so nice to see everybody's faces. So welcome. I am super, super excited. I'm going to talk and let people in at the same time, multitasking. I'm super excited for this afternoon. I've been looking forward to it for quite a while. At the council, we are so excited to always bring on some really wonderful new companies. But what excites me the most about this company, as you will see, is it's an opportunity to really help our members, to help our brands to sell. And at the end of the day, it really is just all about that, making sales and making some connections. So I thank you for that. Okay, I'm just going to let a couple more in. Great, and we're going to get started. So ladies, where's Cathie? There she is. Okay, so Cathie Osborne. Cathie is the CEO and founder of Retaissance, a new global B2B platform for independent brands, offering a new way for brands and buyers to connect anytime throughout the year. So it's not only during market weeks, you can certainly connect anytime, which is nice. Prior to launching Retaissance, Cathie was the managing partner at Osbos Retail, which is a multi-branded agency representing categories from luxury women's wear, jewelry, footwear, houseware, and much more. Cathie's expertise is identifying the right channels and outlets for each brand in the UK and in Europe, bringing brands and retailers together. And no one woman could do it all, which even though we like to think that we can, U.S. partner in crime is Debra De Roo Ballard. Debra is a luxury industry consultant who has taken on the role as U.S. Managing Director, making the U.S. the first country to be represented by the Retaissance marketplace outside of Europe and the U.K. Debra also heads her own successful company called Ballard Luxe, which brings luxury buyers and suppliers together on a global platform to improve their financial bottom lines. That was a mouthful. Ladies, welcome. Cathie, I'm going to hand this over to you. I know that you have a wonderful presentation. I am sure that many will have questions. Please feel free to put your questions into the chat. I will get to them in the order that it comes in. So don't be shy. And maybe towards the end, we can even unmute some of you and you can ask your questions in person.
Lovely.
Cathie.
Thank you. Thanks, Lena. If I move over onto the slides at any point, if you want to holler or ask me to go into more detail about anything, more than happy to adjust as we go through. But obviously feedback at the end will be wonderful. And I'd love to hear your questions because there'll be challenging market conditions over there that I might not be experiencing here. So hopefully we can give you a really good view of the European marketplace. And at the moment, what we're looking to do for all brands is build a resilient recovery. So just by minimizing or managing your risk by diversifying into other markets, trying to actually make sure that as we go forward, we can build growth even in contracting markets. Now, one thing, I am from the north of England, so I'm near to probably about 30 minutes from Manchester. So unfortunately, you're not going to get BBC English and a lovely English accent sounding very posh. I'm from the northern side, so we've got quite a bit of slang. So if I say words, please, I'm not saying anything rude to anybody, but if I do use comments, there may be some obviously translation issues, but no, I'll keep everything as clear as I can on my dialect. Retaissance we've been a retail sales agency since 2011. We've brought brands to market, European brands, into the UK. We've got an established buyer network of just in between 9,000 and 10,000 within Europe, and we're building that network. We're currently building quite a lot in Australia as well. So we are very knowledgeable about all of the different sales channels within the UK. So my best way to explain it is if we are a jewellery brand, for example, or a gift brand, you've got many different retail outlets, as you will know. So for us, a jewellery outlet could be a retail jeweller, an independent retail jeweller, could be a high-end independent department store, so a Harvey Nichols or a Gallery Lafayette or a Cardiff, or it could be a heritage site with a gift shop. So all of our stately homes, etc., visitor attractions have gift stores. Some of those, for example, the Victoria and Albert gift store turns over 10 million a year. Mm-hmm. So the heritage market is very strong in bags, accessories and jewellery, for example. We then have travel retail, so people like Harding Retail, who they operate the stores on all retail stores on every single cruise liner from the UK, so 210 cruise liners. And people sometimes miss out on those, and I think that's your captive market that obviously of a certain income, disposable income level. They're contained on a boat and there's lots of shops, so I don't discount it. All the way through to our pure play e-commerce, so our marketplaces, so everything from your Wolf and Badger, Atterley, Net-a-Porter, Matches Fashion, Farfetch, etc. would have your bags and your jewellery and accessories and footwear, but also a lot of those have stores and boutiques that are supporting them. So then our designer wear boutiques and menswear boutiques. So as you can see, with a lot of agents, if you work with them, a jewellery agent might only look after retail jewellers, whereas we go across all sections. So if I just give you a quick run through, we are considered in the UK a disruptor at the moment. So we're looking, that doesn't mean I'm really badly behaved, obviously. It's just purely that we're looking at changing the way things are done at the moment. So we're disrupting the agent model, as in your fashion agent that would hold you in a showroom. We're disrupting the events model, and we're also disrupting the D2C and B2B marketplace model. So what we've done is looked at all of those areas which are channels to enable trade, and we've put them together, but we've bolted on some extra things that people need to be able to facilitate export to other countries. And that involves direct consumer or B2B fulfillment. So we can, for example, a ladies handbag brand, we can actually hold stock here and supply your direct consumer through your marketplaces in the UK and Europe, as well as supplying to your wholesale clients, so your B2B clients. So at the moment, because we're disrupting, we're also able to partner with a lot of big companies. So hopefully this will give you a good idea of what we do. We want a resilient recovery. It's not just about us getting post-COVID. Things will always change. What we're wanting to do is actually make the full retail ecosystem more resilient. And for that, I mean the manufacturers through to the brands and through to the retailers. We all have families and employees to support through that chain. And by working together and collaborating, I believe we get a lot more out of things as we move forward. So yeah, we like to think that we're giving a brand every tool they need to acquire, service and grow their market. So why did we build the marketplace? We'd been working on this for about 10 months prior to COVID. Then COVID came about. We'd already done proof of concept and we moved forward very quick. The reason being, I could see from post-lockdown, as soon as we were locked down in the UK, it was the 16th of March where we shut our offices and all of my staff started working from home. I remember it because it was my birthday. And also, everybody initially, I don't know how it was in the States, but here it was the first week or two were a bit nervousness, managing risk and getting our businesses as cut back and structured as we can, but also a big time for reflection. So I went through the 2-week initial reflection period, baking more pizza than my 12-year-old twin boys could eat, bread, everything, all the things I never got time to do, and cleared the brain of everything that was the stress and the carousel that we were all on within the fashion and design world. I then started looking and reading, going on webinars from Business of Fashion, Fashion United, all the European ones, and I saw immediately that the impact has been, initially was looking at spring 20 impact. So the retailers had just started taking all their spring summer 20 stock in. They weren't going to be able to sell it, so there was all the concerns about discounting. They put their autumn winter 20 on hold or cancelled them, which impacted the whole supply chain. And I knew from that we would have changes to our models, changes to consumer behaviour, and all of those things started playing out even in the first 4 to 6 weeks. So what we're finding in the UK and all of the other countries that we deal with is that our traditional wholesale models have changed quite dramatically. So from a retailer's perspective, where they're not wanting to place 80% pre-order and 20% replenishment anymore, they're actually wanting 30 to 40% pre-order and 60 to 70% replenishment. So in my honest opinion, and I am sales and marketing always in my life. So my husband says rose-colored glasses, but I find in life we've got to look for the opportunities. And it is the best time now for independent labels to maximise the opportunities and break into some stockist stores that we haven't had the opportunity of. So for me, the retailers are wanting low minimum order quantities, they're wanting short order, they're wanting uniqueness, the changes in consumer behaviour with the millennials and the conscious consumerism, the slow fashion, all of those things in the last 6 months have accelerated to a point where we're 3 years ahead from where we were. And all of that adds to what we do as independent designers and independent brands. Supply chain's been disrupted. One of the gentlemen that I have on my executive board is also a managing partner at John Lewis. And I know through all discussions in retail that those supply chains got impacted so much that some of our large retailers cannot meet their targets for the end of year, even if we clear the store, because they have not enough stock to be able to realise the targets that they've got. So we are looking from a brand perspective, but also those retailers have got really difficult challenges to overcome, and we as independent brands can help them. The other thing that we're looking at is cost barriers that had previously prevented brands from gaining market share. Challenges, as I said, for the retailers, they've got those consumer behaviours to deal with as well. They've got a 35% in the UK and Europe. We've lost around 35% of the jobs in the buying departments, from the big multiples all the way down to the independent high-end stores. they've got increased pressure and KPIs. And also, whereas brand scouting used to be a nice thing on a Friday afternoon for them to flick through lookbooks that have come through, they haven't got that luxury anymore. They've got to be much more managed with the time. And what Retaissance is aiming to do is facilitate that and allow them to be able to reach out to brands like yourselves to be able to source the best from around the world. And that's what we're focused on. So what we do for brands, this is the marketplace platform. We connect you with the leading buyers and increase sales. It's free access and affordable add-ons and subscriptions. The free access is one of my biggest needs out of this marketplace was to have no cost prohibition for any brand. So our free access level means totally free of charge. Any brand can build their own profile showcase and put 100 products on, and there is no cost. We've done this from October through till the end of March. At the end of March, we'll talk to our membership about potentially putting a small commission fee on. But we wanted that because of post-COVID, we wanted people to be able to trade freely. So at the moment, they don't place orders with you through the system. They contact you through the system, and you will then reply to them. So in real terms, it's like, this sounds terribly basic, but it's like a dating agency. So as a buyer, I'm saying I want a 6'2" man with brown eyes and brown hair, dressed in a suit. I want it to be a blue suit, and he's got to have a perfect Italian accent, and only those products will come up into me. So from a buyer perspective, they're only seeing what they are asking to see. And that includes even they want minimum order quantities, or they want quick lead times or short order, or they want ethical or sustainable. So all of those criteria they can search. And it's an always on showcase with trade events moving and changing around. Buyers have to deal with a lot more in regards to multiple categories. So we work through on those. Buyers, so they can find and access tomorrow's brands today. All they want to do is find the next big thing. Also the best products to sell more in store, and future-proofing their market share by managing new markets, and fresh independent brands. The British retailers and the European retailers love American brands. And I think that that's definitely a relationship between the US and the UK as well. So this is just giving you a quick view of the profiles. So we went very much for the look and feel of a D2C fashion and accessory marketplace. So you'll see within our site, all of our pages are designed to look and feel very much like a consumer would see on Matches Fashion or Wolf and Badger or Harvey Nichols. We did that because the buyers are wanting to see the brands represented to the very best of their ability. So I didn't want it to be like a wholesale 1980s site. I wanted it to be reflective of what the expectations of the consumer is currently. So on your page, you've got your main header and scroll. You've got a full detail on what the brand's about. We're very much the brands we accept. We love stories. So everything for us is about the backstory, the provenance of the brand, also what's important to the brand and your why as such. So that's given you a couple of examples there. We then go into the product showcasing. So each product will then be highlighted, and there's 4 images. They can be videos, 360s, or imagery. It's up to you how you mix those products. Oh, sorry, just go back to here. Under on the left hand side, under the A-line logo, you'll see there's some icons there, and they are the icons I was talking about in regards short order, low MOQs, no animal cruelty, all of the, we call them attributes of the brand. And then just a couple of examples of the overall search fields and products that are already on there for you. Then who is within our buyers network? So these are just the big showcase names in regards with every country. You're going to have the sites, the retailers or the marketplaces that people think of when you think of being in the UK. People would like to be in a Selfridges, in a Harvey Nichols, a Liberty, Phoenix, etc. All of those we supply brands into, but then also we've got companies there like Atterley, which is a stunning site, Wolf and Badger and Jewel Street, and they are all independent labels at high end. So it gives you a good feel of everybody we do. The CMJ and AIS, they are buying groups within the UK that I am already a preferred supplier into. So the CMJ is the Company of Master Jewellers. It's the largest jewellery buying group in the UK, and they have just under 400 stores. And the Association of Independent Stores, AIS, is another buying group, and they've got around 450 stores. But the main independent department stores probably about 180. So they actually are a buying group. Once you're preferred supplier, as I am with those, they can pull all of our brands through, and any of those independent department stores can buy through them. And then your big internationals that we're looking at, everybody from our Court Anglaise to Cardiff, Brown Thomas, that's Ireland, that's why it's not shown as UK. Zalando, we're currently in negotiations with, well, it's been agreed, I'm just finalising it, with both Zalando and Rakuten, which is the Japanese largest marketplace as well, which will allow Retaissance buyers for us to have a boutique and be able to put all buyers that work within us onto those platforms for a direct consumer model. What we're trying to do is open up the world so that our brands can trade in areas. For example, at the moment, UK is in lockdown. So a lot of our brands that I'm working with, we're putting on all the marketplaces throughout the world to give them outlets. So it's just about, we're trying to diversify across all countries and all markets to be able to basically give us a more secure foundation as we move forward. Our partner network, this is where it gets quite exciting. So these are all people that within the UK, we have negotiated UK and worldwide with special deals. So in jewellery, First Insight's an American company actually, but they're in the UK, they have the European setup, and with the managing director in the UK, I've negotiated really good rates. They do a full consumer testing model where you can put, for example, if it's handbags or say jewellery this time, you could put your range of 10 pieces and they will run it through the consumer testing group for John Lewis. When they do that, they then feed back to you what people thought the price point should be, which products they like, which products they didn't like, what options and feedback they might have, so that if I'm going to John Lewis to sell, I'm actually saying, well, this is what your consumers are saying. And now First Insight is preferred by Marks and Spencer's, John Lewis and Arcadia Group, to name a few. So it's an American company that's expanding quite quickly in the UK and Europe. Spring Fair is the largest home gift and accessory fair within the UK. We're currently getting rates from them that are around 30% of the cost that you would do if you went to them directly. Retail Jeweller and Professional Jeweller are our jewellery trade magazines. We currently get those at costs of around 30% of what you would pay for advertisements through them. In Orgenta Munich, we're getting brilliant opportunities from them for multi-site, and National Association of Jewellers, which looks after 1,200 jewellery stores in the UK. We are personally backed by the CEO of that and support brands. They're currently putting together an international membership purely for Retaissance to be able to offer our brands that are coming into the UK. Gift and accessories, and I include giftware within there, but giftware can be most of our accessories within the UK, even handbags, even scarves, every form of jewellery, etc., will be in a gift and interior store in the same way it would be in a boutique. So it is another marketplace that we do. Spring Fair Top Drawer is an amazing exhibition. Press Loft is a PR house that actually collates your whole lookbooks, holds them on site, and then all of the UK press and journalists utilise that site to use your images within the UK direct consumer magazines rather than trade press. Maison Objet, some of the jewellery brands, etc., will know that's massive exhibition in Paris, runs alongside the Paris Fashion Week as well as Home and Gift. And the Giftware Association is the UK association trade body that is also working with us. Fashion and footwear, I'm sure you're aware of Jaw, the back-end ERP system or marketplace system to place orders through fashion. As an agency, we currently will be able to get Jaw figures at less than, probably around 40% of what you would pay if you were going to them directly. Tranoi is the fashion and shows that run alongside Paris Fashion Week. I'm sure some of you have been to Tranoi. It's an amazing experience. They've got a B2B lead generator, and it was only 2 weeks ago that it got launched, and they've already partnered with us, and we're able to get people on where normally you would have to sign up for a year. We've got a 6-month package that's reduced by about 50% to actually be on that as a lead generator. Pure, Scoop and Moda are our fashion and accessory shows in the UK alongside London Fashion Week, and Moda is our footwear, and then Moda in Palais you'll already all know, and PR Shots is the fashion comparison to the Press Loft for the home gift and interior side. So we don't try and just do what we do best. What we do is we partner with everybody who is the best in the industry to make sure that when we say we enable trade, we do enable trade and make sure that brands have everything they need to develop that. I'll talk quicker so there's plenty of questions, but I'm conscious I talk quickly anyway as a Mancunian. So it's on here are press partnerships. They are running campaigns for us all the time. Fashion United, we're working with our members to deliver growth and brand awareness through those. In Europe, they're an Amsterdam-based company. They have 1.3 million readership per month. So in the fashion and accessories marketplace, they are the best in the news, the unique brands, the new upcoming brands, and also large fashion houses. Retail Jeweller is the largest trade magazine, and Draper's the largest fashion magazine. It goes back 220 years, so it's the most recognised in the UK. All of those are in partnership with us and give much better rates to members. NAJ, CMJ and Giftware Association we've covered, but every single one of those is supporting us and their members joining the site. Quite proud of this in regards, we have now got full support of the Department of International Trade, and 6 weeks ago, might be 8 weeks ago because I'm getting old, time goes very quick, they put us through as the Exporting is Great, the Bounce Back Initiative. There was 3 Bounce Back initiatives from the UK government, and we're placed on their B2B marketplace as the preferred supplier for import and export in all areas of non-food retail. And we work very closely with the Enterprise Europe network, because we've got the EU exit coming at the end of this month. We've worked very closely with European brands and retailers to actually build community, to say we're all still wanting to trade, and the community is allowing us to import and export more effectively, to mean that an Italian jewellery brand isn't going to suddenly have problems exporting into the UK with paperwork and customs and excise, because we're holding their stock and we're doing that for them. But to have the government accreditation, I'm also the international trade advisor in the US. The head of retail for the United States is talking to me next week, and we're actually looking to develop the relationships there. She's going to give me a lot of support with the American retailers. So what do we do for you apart from the marketplace? Lena, I've already talked to and said that if anybody wants just a 15-30 minute chat about the UK marketplace or the European marketplace for your brand, I'm more than happy to give that as a free consultation with no strings. If you just want to get some open and honest feedback on what would work in the UK and whether there is where I would see the perfect market for you being, I'm more than happy to do that. So we could talk through this type of thing, but in effect, what we're trying to do is enter new market sectors, generate more sales for you. Feedback, one thing we've learned through disrupting the markets is a lot of brands, when they put agents into other countries, don't then get feedback on what the end consumer likes and doesn't like, what the retailer likes and doesn't like. So they find it difficult to then build their collections and make them more profitable for themselves in the market, or actually more suited to those target consumers. We do direct consumer e-commerce presence. Once you've built that brand awareness, obviously as a brand, the most profitable and effective way is then to actually get those consumers coming to you directly. We help with that. Target your ideal stockists. Any agent or distributor can say we've got 9,000 buyers. You don't want 9,000 buyers. You might want 50 of the very best suited to your brand that are going to give you not only the least problems, but the most revenue, the higher profit and the right target consumer. So those are where we focus, and also no exclusivity. You're free to work with us alongside other parties. We just think that collaboration works better than anybody being very focused. Saying that, I don't think any of our brands are non-exclusive, but it's not a necessity. I've done just a few brands that I've done just a couple of case studies to give you a feel of what we do. So this is a UK jewellery brand, Jewellery London. So they're located in the UK, but they're wanting to expand their global footprint. So what we do for them is a wide range of services you'll see there. And we've got wholesale manager working on them from taking them. We've got Wolf and Badger, Atterley stock them, Jewel Street, which has got about 600 of the top worldwide brands on it for a D2C site, not on the high street. It's got about 21,000 loyal following of jewellery buyers. Gallery Lafayette, FYI, which is a high-end jewellery, accessories and home e-commerce marketplace in Harvey Nichols. So what we're doing is we're gradually introducing them. We're currently looking at Cardiff, taking them, but we're gradually building them into Europe. But this is just to show you all of the steps that they're taking and utilising through the field. Bobby's is a beautiful Parisian footwear brand. We've, over the last 3 years, we've pretty much doubled year on year. Well, maybe not doubled. We've gone from 8.5 million, we're now at 15 million 3 years on. So it's not exact doubling, we've doubled over the full 3 years, but we've had tremendous growth there. In the UK, we have around 500,000, but we've got a 22% growth in the year 2021. When you consider the COVID situation, that's an incredible growth. We are currently, we've had a very strategic approach where we went through just a concession and high-end retailer. We've just built up the Harvey Nichols account on a extended line only, and the projections for the following year, if it works over the last 6 months, over a 1 year period, we'll have moved just through Harvey Nichols alone 5,500 units, so around £450,000 worth through that one site. So it gives you a feel that sometimes we're going multiple sites, average order values £10,000 per annum, all the way through to some clients that are taking £1 million per annum. So it's more about what your appetite is for the growth, what your supply chain is, and how we can do those growth steps to maximize your efficiencies. And then Campo Marzio, that is a Spanish brand that's been bought out recently in Italy. Historic brand, but very much around like professional portfolios, laptop carriers, all the way down to pens, etc. So really, it's a beautiful brand. It's vegan leather, and we've took them in Europe now. They're at 7 million throughout Europe. So everywhere from El Corte Inglés and Bloomingdale's, for example, but to LaGuardia. So that again is a travel retail company. So those airport shopping, whilst travellers reduced, they are building up really strong. Harding Retail has got its biggest growth projections in 2021-22 that it's had in 5 years. So those areas are coming back as well. And that's it. That's a girl from Cheshire talking very quickly for 40 minutes. So I do hope I didn't lose people with my accent, but like I say, anybody wanting just individual one-on-ones whenever you want, but happy to answer anything as long as there's no heckling and there's no difficult questions. I'm fine to go with it.
So I will say this, first of all, thank you for such an informative presentation. I know that we've gone through it a couple of times, but I've just learned so much more. And I have been getting texts on the side from many that are on the call saying, oh my God, this is amazing. Yes, it is. And there's a whole other world out there, and that's the world that we really want to be a part of. I also have several requests for one-on-ones with you, so I will make those introductions. Anybody else interested, just please feel free to email me. But let's get to a couple of questions before our time is up here. So one question comes from Linda. Since your services are so similar to Jewellery, how do you work with them without being a competitor?
Okay, so, and it's a really good question, because it's probably from when we move forward with this, I think it was probably one of the most asked questions in the first 2 months. And that is, sometimes it's, you can see when you see our sites and they look very similar in regards the way they show the products and how beautifully they show the products. Jaw is what we would consider an ERP system. So it's taking a buyer, once they're interested in the brand, it's taking you through and them actually placing the order and that managing your back office as such. It's an operation that takes somebody all the way through. Jaw don't see us as a competitor, and we don't see them as a competitor, because our product doesn't do that. Ours is a connection. So the big difference would be a buyer or a retailer would use Jaw to procure their products. They would use our product to brand scout their next new brands. So that is the major difference. The reason Jaw love me is because Jaw can sometimes find themselves cost prohibitive. So the cheapest price to get onto Jaw is your mini package, and it's around $850 a month. And some of the more independent brands, that's quite a large amount, because I'm going to them with a large number of brands. I can negotiate rates and get that at a much better cost. So we work well together, even though you may see it as a negative. They adore our functionality of the brand scouting, because that's one area that I've asked buyers at many, many high-end retailers and premium retailers, and brand scouting is not a strength of Jaw. It's always had some functionality of it, but it's not its strengths, and even Jaw accept that. So no, it's a great question. I hope I answered it, but yeah, we work well together because I find amazing brands, and then I take the amazing brands to Jaw when they might have been too early in their 10-year plan to have been able to pay £10,000 per annum to be on Jaw. We can actually get them on at an affordable figure.
Thank you, Cathie. I just want to clarify something, because I've had this question constantly, especially with trade show participation. You know, we have such wonderful partners in the trade show world. And since COVID, trade shows have gone virtual, which is something new, I think, for everybody all around. With your platform, do you introduce buyers to the brands where the brands can physically meet and say, hi, my name is X, Y, and Z, my brand is so-and-so, and they start the interaction? Do you provide that service?
Yeah, so what we do, a good example of it, I was actually, earlier today, I was talking to, my days are quite bizarre at the moment, Lena, in regards the day started at 6:30 talking to Melbourne, and is finishing with yourselves at what will be nearly 8 p.m. So I'm trying to follow the sun and work with people awake times. And that's one good thing about Retaissance, Lena. You will be literally going to sleep, and we will be selling for you whilst you're asleep. You'll wake up next day and there'll be orders there, because it's purely at the time difference.
We'll take that, that's for sure.
But no, it's, I was talking earlier about the same thing with the British Embassy in Central Europe, because a lot of brands don't realise the potential in places like Czech Republic, etc. For the high-end luxury side, there's some really great stuff. And they are Department of International Trade over there. We're talking about setting up a Meet the Buyer event virtually with those. So I'd love to do something similar with the American brands. Just so you're aware, on the 3rd and 4th of November, we ran a 2-day event and webinar. The UK government paid for the software on that for the 2 days and supported us. But we actually managed to introduce 145 brands from 31 countries to 240 buyers over 2 days, including 10 webinars from the very best in the industry over that period. So yeah, we're proud of doing that kind of thing. We do it really well, and that was a totally free of charge event. We didn't charge 1 penny for any of it. So.
Well, that's a good number.
Yes.
That's a very good number. I have a question from Carly. Can the platform accept a product feed from an e-commerce solution like Shopify, or do products need to be set up manually?
Right, no, for the marketplace itself, we can do, we can upload from CSV. There isn't direct feed, but what we do direct feed with is when we're placing you on a marketplace, we can do direct uploads onto Zalando, etc. But for our marketplace, we can only upload from a basic CSV as such at the moment. We will be developing that probably short to medium term. We're about to get our first raise of large investment shortly, and that's allowing for quite a lot of add-ons to be done. So yeah, sorry, not immediately, but no, it isn't manual. It can be automated. We just haven't got the AI links for it to be constant. But the difference is, because we're not a procurement service, you may only put, for example, some of our brands have only got 10 products on there, but the lookbook and the line sheets are there. So the buyers, what they're tending to do is download the whole lookbook, for example, rather, because they're not going to click an order 4 of item 1. It's not, you don't need that automatic update all the time to keep stock levels right, short term anyway.
Thank you, Cathie. So question, intimidating to sell in the UK and Europe to some, with all of the duties and the price changes and so on. Is that something that your platform will help brands maneuver throughout?
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of blogs and support things on there. We also have direct links with, for example, on jewellery, we've got assay office, etc. Because we're affiliated with all the associations, they will help any external brand know what they need to know to be able to trade within the UK. From our perspective, we'll offer any advice we can. And also, if we're representing you, we make sure that all of that's done as well, so that in real terms, what we try and do is have a seamless service where you are just looking after your designs, the creatives, your new ranges, and the UK and Europe sales are handled and delivered to you as such.
Thank you. I just got a very good question from Elizabeth. How do brands with a small budget compete with brands who are able to spend on the add-ons? How do the brands with the basic package get noticed?
I think what we tend to do for all of our new brands, we put a spotlight out on the brand anyway. So for example, I have a network, we have big following. I've got 23,500 buyers in my LinkedIn profiles, all of which we've got quite strong engagement on those profiles. And whenever new brands launch, we do all of our social media through those brands. We also do things where we're working, for example, with Fashion United, where we could, for example, run a story through which was about for American brands where there was no conflict of interest. So we might pick similar brands where you're targeting the same end consumer, but you're very different in your offerings, and we can do editorials like that. What we are doing is giving you a showcase, and a lot of the connections will be on there. And if your brand is shown, and because the filter facility is so good, if somebody is looking for what you offer, they will be able to find it. And hopefully, the reason we do that is that hopefully as you grow, you will need step changes along the way that will actually grow your brand and need additional services at different times. But no, we work on social media and also our connections to try and give everybody a fair share of business and opportunity. So, but I'm more than happy to discuss it on a one-to-one basis, because it may be there's things that I can tell you that are free for you to do, that you can utilize yourself. Sometimes it's more who you know and what you know, and I'm more than happy to share that kind of information with you.
Thank you, Cathie. I think the partnership between the Accessories Council and with Retaissance, it's a double whammy. So we're certainly excited, and we're going to be putting together some interesting Open Sea Days for those that have been a part of our Open Sea Days in the past with the Retaissance team. I have one last question, and then we're going to wrap it up. It's been a very long but a very informative hour. I would love to know, how did you come up with the name Retaissance?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I'm known for just making words up. I'm terrible at that. If I can't think of the word, it doesn't come to the brain. I can make any combination of words, make a new one. But it was mainly around, it was when we were still in lockdown, when I was trying to come up with something. And I just wanted something that would resonate with all areas of retail. And when I was looking up the Renaissance period was post health crisis, so they had the Black Plague, etc. It was in a real turmoil of economic activity and changes. What I loved about the Renaissance period was we all know it as the largest change to the cultural side and creativity, the design side. And I just love the thought that in real terms, the whole society changed at that point in the Renaissance period. If you read about it, it was all about, we were all collaborating, people were coming together to help each other and to move forward. And I just thought, you know, if we can't come out of COVID, if we come out of COVID in totally acting exactly as we were prior to COVID, then more fool us. So Retaissance was just purely about the Renaissance period, and I just changed the T to be retail. So that sounds really pathetic, but it's a made-up word.
Well, it's very cool. And I can't thank you enough for the presentation. As mentioned, I received many emails, and via the chat, I will make connections to those who wanted a one-on-one. Anybody who would like that has not asked, please feel free to reach out. Just as a quick reminder to everybody, we have a couple of more really great webinars coming up. We have one more month left of this year. We have AC Cares, our kickoff December 1st, which is Giving Tuesday. And then we have an exciting webinar on December 7th with Fashwire, which is another incredible platform, very different from Retaissance, but definitely something that I hope none of you miss. And most important, I will wish everybody and would like to wish everybody a very wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. We all have a lot to be grateful for. We're all healthy, we're all here, we all look fabulous, and we miss all of you. I know that Karen does, and we hope to see you in person for some good old-fashioned hugs in 2021. So thank you so very much to everyone, Cathie, Debra, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.